Hey, welcome to So Awkward. It's me, Don, here with a quick video just to give my thoughts on the recent passing of a sci-fi icon, Leonard Nimoy. I just got home from work and I learned that Leonard Nimoy had passed away, 83 years old. I don't work on a starship. I work at Starbucks. I changed into my starship uniform in honor of Leonard Nimoy. Of course, most closely associated with his character, Mr. Spock. I've never really thought of myself as a Leonard Nimoy fan because the role and his performance as Mr. Spock was so iconic and so indelible. It's hard to separate him from his character. In fact, his first autobiography, I believe, was called I Am Not Spock. And then he wrote another autobiography called I Am Spock. Because even he realized that it was too hard to separate the man from his character. And I can't think of a single character, fictional or otherwise, really, who has had more of an impact and inspiration on my life. And I mean that sincerely. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Mom. Mr. Spock. There would be no So Awkward show. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying that would be a detriment to the world if there was no So Awkward show. But there would be no So Awkward show if not for Leonard Nimoy and his contributions to society and the universe as a whole. I don't... it's hard to really grasp how important he really was, not just to my life, but to sci-fi and fans in general. If not for him and his contributions to Star Trek, and just Star Trek as a whole, in fact, I probably wouldn't even be a nerd at all. Okay, I'd still be a nerd. I would just be a bored, sad, lonely nerd. But even more than that, even more than just giving me something to be entertained by watching, just the character of Spock was just such an inspiration. He made it cool to be smart. He made it cool to be kind. He made it cool to be reserved and quiet and thoughtful. Because there was nobody cooler than Spock. Even people who love Kirk. I mean, Kirk is the coolest guy ever. But even he bowed down to Spock. In all his travels, his soul was the most human. As he said in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I am who I am partly because of my love of Mr. Spock. I think before I act. I keep my emotions in check. Some people would say, possibly I don't even have emotions. They said that of Spock too, but they were wrong. Oh, we have emotions. We're crying on the inside. But it's important to be kind and to treat people fairly and to be logical above all things. Because through logic, you can truly love and make the world a better place. Because it doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care that much more, that you're able to hold your emotions and think and think about things. So, I felt a little, I'll admit, so when I learned that he died, I cried a little bit. Even Spock cried. I mean, after he was infected by that poppy that made his emotions go crazy, he cried a little bit. For me, it was just learning about the death of Leonard Nimoy. I'm not going to say like I was bawling, because again, I have no emotions, but you don't really think of, like, people talk about how they cried when JFK died, or how they cried when Martin Luther King died. And I don't mean to put his death up there with theirs, because it's not even the death of Leonard Nimoy, it's the death of Spock, which would be the second death of Spock. But he came back once, maybe he'll come back again. Because after I learned that he died, I rewatched Spock's death scene in Star Trek II, which is probably my favorite scene from any movie ever. And watching it now, it's just that much more powerful. I don't really have anything much more to say beyond that. Just I wanted to put on this sweet shirt and just share my thoughts about this great man, this great character, this icon, this inspiration of my life. I just wanted to get that out there into the ether of the internet, because I can. And part of the reason I can do that is because of people like Leonard Nimoy. If you ask any scientist, any astronaut, any explorer, any artist to list their inspirations, chances are good Leonard Nimoy is going to be on that list. So I was chatting with my friend Matt Miller about it, and we were talking about how it's really sad, and he said something about how I said, I never got to meet him. I was lamenting the fact that I never got to meet him at a convention, and I thought, I just assumed he would live forever. And he said, well, he kind of will live forever, because in his movies and TV shows and just the impact he's had on popular culture. And I can't really think of a better epilogue than that. So we can all be sad that Leonard Nimoy has passed away. But he had all but retired from the role of Spock anyway. And it's not like I was ever really going to meet him. Even if I did for 2 seconds, and it would be awkward, and I would say something, uncomfortable, and he would want me to go away. But tomorrow I can still watch Star Trek. The day after tomorrow I'll still watch Star Trek. 100 years from now, people will still be watching Star Trek. And that's as it should be. Anyway, live long and prosper, all of you. But Leonard Nimoy has gone to a better place. But he will be missed. But not really, because we still have his amazing body of work. Not just his work on Star Trek, but his photography, the other movies he's directed, like 3 Men and a Baby, and of course, his enduring legacy, his version of that Bilbo Baggins song, which maybe I'll put a clip right here.
In the middle of the earth, in the land of the Shire, lives a brave little hobbit whom we all admire. With his long wooden pipe, fuzzy woolly toes, he lives in a hobbit hole and everybody knows him. Bilbo Baggins.